Hey, what is up guys? So I got a very awesome duel today for you guys, and it's going to be between Shinra's versus Gorgonics, two completely new decks that I actually have not shown off at all, and I got a really awesome game between both decks. It really just kind of shows the power of both decks, or the potential, I guess you could say. So, if you're unfamiliar with these archetypes, I'm going to briefly kind of explain what goes on real quick. So first off, Shinra's is a plant archetype that likes to reveal cards and send the plant monsters to the graveyard, and depending on what you send to the graveyard, by revealing them. This is not the same as sending something from the deck to the graveyard, otherwise these could be used in Lightsworn. You have to reveal them and then you send them, so it's kind of different than Lightsworns. So this card over here, I'm going to briefly go over like the two main ones. Leaf Flow over here, he likes to pop monsters when he is revealed and sent to the graveyard, and then Stolet likes to pop spell and trap cards. So you can see the it's kind of synergy that they have. And this one, when it's flipped face up, you get some effect where you can reveal the top 5 cards. This one over here, when it's normal summon, you can reveal up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. So there are other cards that you could actually change the order in your your top deck. You can like reveal 5 and then you can rearrange them in a certain order. So basically that's how the deck kind of plays. The Gorgonics, on the other hand, they have a really insane XYZ, which we'll mention once it actually comes out later on. So our player is actually playing a build where he's playing like a Rockstone variant of Gorgonics, which is pretty good. So if you're unfamiliar with the Rockstone build, basically there's 3 main monsters. It's Quackmere Sandman, Quackmere Guardian, and Quackmere Wall, and each one negates a different thing. One negates spells, one negates traps, one negates monsters effects, which I think is probably one of the better ones. But anyways, Sandman over here, he contributes himself to stop trap card. So during the end phase, a player that is playing the Shinra, he activates Phoenix Queen Wind Blast, and he is going to be targeting this card over here, Bottom's Trap Hole, and Quackmere Sandman is going to be able to tribute himself to actually stop that effect. So that way it's not top deck. The Rockstone build is more so for just kind of control over the game. So our player tries to flip up a Shinra Stolet, and that is unfortunately going to get Solemn Warning. And it is really good to Solemn Warning certain cards like this, because you can simply lose a card like Solemn Warning, because if he, perhaps milled a card like Stolet over here, he would be able to just pop, Solemn Warning. Therefore, Solemn Warning would be kind of like, a minus. You'd basically lose Solemn Warning for nothing. So it's actually kind of good that he warnings that. And he's going to go ahead and summon Shinra Night Sissus over here, and it is going to be getting Bottom's Trap Hole. But remember, this card gets its effect when it is normal summon. It's not a once per turn, so there's no more like I know priority is gone, but this card gets its effect when it is normal summon, so he can still get his effect. So he's going to be able to reveal the top card, and if it is a plant monster, you get to send it to the graveyard. And he's going to be activating that call upon that he previously set, and he's going to be able to special summon this card over here. This card is absolutely crazy, this card over here. I'm going to show you guys True Beam, I don't know, I'm going to mispronounce all these names. These names probably will all be changed for TCG just to make them easier to pronounce. But this card is really good. So it's your opponent cannot target other plant-type monsters for attacks if this card in your possession, and that includes Solemn Warning. If it gets Warning, this card in your possession is sent to your graveyard by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect. You can special summon one plant-type monster from your deck, except for itself. That means you can special summon Lonefire. So I think, guys, Lonefire, unfortunately, probably won't be going back to 2. But, if it does, this deck will be even better. But this card is absolutely crazy. I mean, it's got 28 defense too, and it has, obviously the absurd effect to just special summon Lonefire, then special summons anything out of your deck anyways. So it's a pretty good safe card to actually go for, and it's very versatile. The aspect that you probably won't get OTK'd if you summon this card, but if your opponent is able to, maybe bring control, or I guess Big Eye as they call it now. So this is Jujutsu Mastery. I mean, his effect, any monster that attacks it is returned to the owner's top deck. But that almost kind of works out, because if they mill it, or if they have something to mill plant cards, they can get a bonus off of it anyway. So this card might not be the best off of it. So this card, again, trying to reveal the top card. Unfortunately, now he has to top deck that card, and I probably wouldn't want to draw this card because it's too high of a level. But okay, let me go ahead and go over this card. I'm gonna go over to the attachments. Oh dang it, I can't. But anyways, he's just going to go ahead and XYZ for this card, Gorgonic Guardian. This card is the go-to card for Gorgonics. It is an absolutely crazy card, so it requires 2 level 3 rock monsters, so it's not like a splashable card. But once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one material from this card to target one face-up monster opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and it negates its effect. And these effects last until the end of this turn. And once per turn, you can target one monster with 0 attack on the field, and you can destroy that target. And that effect you do not have to detach for, I believe, unless they change the wording on it perhaps in the future. That card is absolutely crazy. Basically, you're going to get rid of one monster, and on top of that, when your opponent goes for a play perhaps like next turn, you can stop them in their monster effects or when they're trying to attack into you. So this card is absolutely ridiculously good. This is like their go-to card, because it's basically like a free 1600 attack, and then also protect itself, because basically, you know, you're negating their effects and they can't have any attack. So he's going to go ahead and set a Stolet over here, and this card, it's going to be able to get that flip effect though, and he's going to be revealing 5 cards over here, and then one of the cards also has another effect, which I will continue. So one of them, he's going to be able to pop a back row, and then this one over here, the Shinra Peacekeeper, or Shinra no Miyabi Peas, whatever they decided for the name of it. But anyways, if this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one level 4 or lower plant type monster in the graveyard and special summon that target. And it has the effect that you can only use one of them per turn. So that's kind of like the downside of it, but it's still pretty darn good effect. So unfortunately, there's not really any good targets, I guess, so he's going for itself. This card is just absolutely crazy because it stops your opponent from really doing anything. So we have the Gorgonic play over here. I'm going to have that card negate the Shinra Spear Tree Rigia. And this card effect is you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant type monster, you get to send it to the graveyard and go +1. Otherwise, you place it on the bottom of the deck. Almost reminds me of a Destiny Hero Diamond Dude, but if this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard, you can look up to the top 3 cards and then rearrange them in any order. So that's a pretty good card too. A lot of the cards in this deck, I would say, kind of have a bad draw. Like, I would say it's very rare that you're going to be able to tribute summon 2 monsters. I mean, some of them, they do have good defense, but you know, majority of the time you're going to be wanting maybe to go on a little bit more aggressive side in this deck. But a lot of them, you know, have, there's like, I think there's 1 or 2 that has a decent defense. But we're going to see another Gorgonic over here, and it's just going to make that card 0 attack, and basically he's going to be able to just run over anything. And then it basically stuns your opponent, because what is your opponent going to do against, you know, basically a whole, like, effect value plus you have 0 attack? So the card's going to try to activate its effect, and he's going to say, nope, not going to happen. And unfortunately, for our Shinra player here, he's not going to be able to really do anything. There's a Gorgonic Golem over here, and he's going to be able to make a game with a Forbidden Lance coming in clutch over there. But a pretty interesting duel between 2 decks, and I really felt like this duel, it really showed the potential of both of the decks. I think Shinra's, it's kind of more like a luck sack deck. I mean, I already feel we have Light Sworns as kind of one of those luck sack decks, and obviously Judgment Dragon kind of having one of the best effects in the game that is like reasonably easy to summon. But those Gorgonics are pretty good. I mean, this card, there's not very many cards. There is some Chronomalies. Okay. There's the Chronomaly over here, the Ooparts, as they call them in the OCG. But anyways, there's a lot of cards that I thought would work in the Gorgonic build, but since it has to require rock monsters, unfortunately, when I was looking at this deck a long time ago, I was like, you know, it's actually not too great, but actually, you know, there's Chronomalies, there's a lot of cards, I would say, that basically, when you normal summon, you get a special summon. That's what a lot of the Gorgonics do. Unfortunately, that's basically using 2 cards to go for 1 XYZ, and if your opponent is somehow able to stop that with a, I don't know, Solemn Warning, Torrential Tribute, you're going to go minus with your plays. But, you know, the Chronomalies, there's, I think it's the Crystal Bones, I believe. It's like when you normal summon it, you can basically special summon one Chronomaly from your graveyard or something like that, and then therefore easy access to Garnet Guardian. And I honestly think this is probably one of the best XYZs. It's not going to be a generic card, but it's probably one of the best XYZs that is rank 3 that's coming out relatively soon. But yeah, be on the lookout for Gorgonics, guys, because I honestly think that this deck has a lot of potential simply for the factor of, you know, let me go ahead and negate your effect and you have 0 attacks. So that really stalls your opponent. And then on top of that, being able to pop a card, even though it's kind of irrelevant unless they have back row, you know, you don't really want to run into something like a Dimensional Prison, but you can get rid of the monster. It has a lot of options. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this duel. I actually kind of want to build both of these decks, and if you guys have any suggestions for you know, key tech cards, I'll probably look at both of these guys' decks and then pick out of you know, their decks what I actually like. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes signing out.